Just a couple of quick updates for CIC. It's been a very busy year. I'm not going to jump into kind of the background of CIC because I think most of the people joining us today are familiar with our program, our education and mentoring, financing, and networking program. So I'll dive into more specifically what's new and what we've been up to in the last, 10 to 12 months or so. So last year was an incredible year for CIC. We grew significantly in a lot of ways. Probably the most significant way we grew was our loan program. Up until about 2018, we had done about 400,000 in loans. And then last year in 2019, we did another 400,000 in loans. That's both, and as a part of that, we were able to double the total size of our loan fund. That included the city of Charlottesville creating the Business Equity Fund, which is a fund specifically designed to help entrepreneurs from socially disadvantaged backgrounds. We added to it through additional grants through the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Albemarle County. So our loan fund's really been taking off in the last couple of years. Whereas, as recently as probably 20 months ago, we had, 200,000 in loans outstanding. And today, for a few other different reasons, we are actually now over 650,000 outstanding, and that number is going to grow very rapidly in the coming weeks as well. So our loan fund was a small part of CIC when we started, even though it was the original idea. The core of our program has not changed beyond the loans. Our 16-week entrepreneur workshop is the core of what we do, helping folks develop their business ideas and businesses. Our mentor and financial management programs help folks kind of continue to develop their skills to get that support they need as they're growing their businesses. And as we've served more and more clients over the years, we've had 397 graduates of the workshop to date. So we'll cross 400 this June. We've needed to expand our team. And so also last year in 2019, we added 2 new staff members, which have given us more capacity to help our existing clients, as well as to think about what are our future programs and so forth look like. So 2019 was a crazy year and a great year for us for CIC. As we kind of moved into January of this year, the biggest change that we had at CIC was another expansion where we took over as host of the Central Virginia Small Business Development Center. For those of you who might not be familiar, SBDCs, as they're called, exist all over the state and country. They've been around for about 40 years. Ours was hosted at another institution up until January, and they reached out late last year if we were interested in working with them and potentially taking over as their fiscal host and fiscal host, meaning their team becomes a part of our team, and we did that. It's a great opportunity for both organizations. For CIC, it means that as more of our clients grow, we have even closer access to all of the resources and expertise that SBDCs have, both locally and around the state and nation. So we took that over. They have 1 full-time employee, a couple of part-time employees, and a number of contractors who do business counseling and so forth. And that's been a really big help for some of our clients. And in the COVID pandemic, being so connected to SBDCs meant that we could connect to resources much more quickly to provide assistance to clients throughout our network and the region. We continue to see more loan applications, or did up until the kind of pandemic restrictions took hold in March. And we're kind of continuing on our same trajectory. But for the moment with our loans, we've paused our long-term or I shouldn't say long-term, our growth-oriented loans, unless a business is really growing in this environment. We've shifted some of our lending and our work on our loan program to more specific responses to COVID, which I'll hit on in just a second. So, and as I mentioned before, in June, we will graduate our 400th graduate of our program in the last 8 years. So it's been a busy time, as you can see. Just I mentioned our loan program. You can see here kind of the growth in it, and that continues right into 2020. you know, that those numbers are going up significantly. You know, basically each of the last several years doubled, and this happening this year as well. And a lot of it this year is COVID, but we expect even more loans to kind of come into that process as well. There we go. We constantly track the kind of long-term outcomes of our programs and how businesses are creating and sustaining jobs and so forth. And so you can see here kind of the continue each year, the businesses launch, new businesses launch, new businesses operating, as well as the cumulative number of new, jobs that have been created over the years. So that number continues and we track it. Our hope is in the pandemic here that some of the short-term pain that a lot of folks are feeling, that we can help them get back to where they were. It may take several months or longer to get there, but we hope that we can help them kind of restore their businesses to where they were on March 1. And then the kind of the other big metric that we always talk about, for every dollar CIC has spent over the last 8 years, we've helped return to the community $5 in wages from new jobs. So these are entrepreneurs who are creating jobs in their businesses, that are employing people and creating more economic activity throughout the region. So this is kind of the hard data part of what we do. The real work and the thing that we all enjoy the most is the kind of how we've impacted people's lives and helped them kind of build their dreams. And I think that's what hopefully you'll hear a little bit of in just a few minutes. Shifting a little bit just to the pandemic. March obviously changed everything for all of us. And it's, you know, I think all of us are still trying to get our footing on what it's. We did a survey with our clients in March and into April, and you can see kind of a few of the things that they shared in that survey there. Just the savings that they had available to them, the kind of where they were with their business as of March and April, and then the percentage of clients that had at least one employee, as opposed to being just a self-employed business. So kind of just give you a sense of what they shared with us at that point. It's been hard, you know, you'll hear some of it in a few minutes, but it's really hard to be a business owner right now. You don't know, you have to operate in a different way. If you can operate, your customers and clients, they might not want to be out right now. So you have to figure out, can you serve them in a different environment? And we're working hard to try to help folks figure that out and adapt as much as they can. A few of the ways that we've helped folks along the way, we have checked in with nearly all of the clients that have been interested in checking in and to find out what their needs are, how we can help them connect to resources throughout the community. We've hosted a number of webinars or online Zoom meetings and small business circles and other resources to help people think about how they can adapt and change with their business. Our 16-week workshop has moved for the time being entirely online, done via Zoom, just like we're doing here. So they break out into small groups, which you can do with Zoom, and continue on. While it's not quite the same as being there in person, I think we're doing our best to kind of maintain what I think is one of the most valuable parts of our workshop, which is that community that is created. So, and then kind of the other big response that we've had in the last few weeks is the recovery funds. Starting with the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County created the Business Recovery Fund. Together, they put in $300,000 to help make small loans up to $10,000 for businesses. The idea was that businesses who might have not been able to access the Paycheck Protection Program or other federal or state programs would have another opportunity to kind of get some of the capital they need to sustain and think about how to recapitalize as they've spent down their savings. So we have just completed round 1 of those loans and done the first $300,000. A few weeks ago, we announced that we had secured a private investment of $300,000, so essentially doubling the size of that fund. So, and after doing $800,000 in loans over 8 years, we're going to do about $700,000 in loans in about 8 weeks with CIC. And so that's really stretched our team, and they've done incredible work. And moving our applications online, doing everything virtually and remotely, and helping clients access the capital they need so that they can sustain their businesses. So all of those have been part of our response. We've tried to keep at our core that our goal is to help folks that might get left behind otherwise. We can help folks connect to each other and help folks learn what they need to kind of sustain and reimagine their businesses. So yeah, I want to shift on to the kind of the fun part of our day as opposed to me talking. In our panel, I'm going to stop my screen share here if I can do so successfully. And can see if I can unmute the panel there if they're not already. So our panel today is, I'll go back to the screen here in just a second. We have 3 entrepreneurs who we've worked with over the years. We have Earl Valerie with Bowerbird Bake Shop. You might not see him in the crowd at the moment, but depending on where he is on your screen. We have Kelly Brown with Infamous Hair and Solutions. Hi, Kelly. And then we have Elizabeth Raymond with Noble Burger. So I'm thrilled to have them here. They're all kind of great people who are doing great things with their business, and look forward to having them share with you. So let's see, Earl, why don't we start with you? Sure. Earl is sitting at a desk at his brand new bake shop that you can see behind there. You know, it has not actually opened to the public yet. He's construction went right into the pandemic and would have opened this month. But Earl, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of Bowerbird and kind of how you got started?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so my name is Earl Valerie. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. Long ago, woo! I went to culinary school in Austin, Texas. I lived there for a very long time. And I've been doing pastries in different iterations for, I think it will be 14 years in November. So it's been a while. And a couple years ago, I moved to Richmond. I helped open a place there. But I never had, I was always the chef and never the owner. And so at some certain point, you know, like when you're doing all of the things, you're like, why would I not just do this for myself? And so that was kind of my motivation for moving here. Like, I love it here. I think it's beautiful. I wanted to start a business where I wanted to live. And I did. So I took all the things that I wanted to do in a bakery and things that I thought we could do in positive ways, like as far as supporting each other, just buying local or like, you know, whatever, giving money back to the community, paying living wage, all that good stuff. And we're trying our best to do that. And as Stephen said, yeah, this will be, we've been open about 2.5 years, doing mostly farmers market and wholesale, special events, stuff like that. And we were fortunate enough to get 2 investors and then also take out a CIC loan, which is maybe jumping ahead. But we were able to build out this brick and mortar space, which we just did we just finished, we just got health code approved via email and FaceTime, which is very strange. But we did our first bake-in here yesterday and it was good. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. We do pastries, emphasis on like unique, local, seasonal ingredients, stuff that's interesting but still accessible. And yeah, we're known for like, I think probably most known for our French macarons and all of those nice kind of fancy but still interesting, accessible pastries.
Which are delicious. You should try them out. So thanks, Earl. We'll come back to you in just a second. Kelly Brown with Infamous Hair and Solutions. Kelly, why don't you do the same? Share us a little bit about yourself and how your business got started.
Okay. My name is Kelly Brown. I've been doing hair, running Infamous Hair and Solutions for about 3 years now. But how I got started is, it's been probably, I always love hair. So that was something that was just, and that I like to do. But I got really interested in selling hair and learning more about it is when I used to look for stuff that I need and I couldn't find in stores like here. And it came from ideas like, well, this is something you love to do. Why not just try it? So I started in like local hair salon where I went to get my hair done. So what I do, we sell hair products and hair extension. And my goal at first was just to do that online, but I heard about CIC and I took the class and it like broadened my thinking of how far I could take it as actually getting my own shop and selling hair and also having hair done in the shop. So once I took the class, CIC actually helped me with like loans and stuff as far into getting the building that I'm in now. Unfortunately, at this moment, I'm not in the shop due to standards because we are a hair salon as well as we sell hair products and hair extension. So hopefully I'll be back in the shop this coming, well, January. I'm sorry, July. So, but that's basically how I got started, and it's just hair is something, a passion of mine that I like to do. And with CIC help, they helped me further, like the education, learning more about it and ways to go. And it's been going great so far. As far as the pandemic, like that's what has put a hold on it because now, like I'm not in the shop, so therefore, clients, it's been cut down and what else? I'm sorry, I want to get off the top. I know you said how it started, but yeah, that's how I started.
That's great. Thanks, Kelly. Like I said, hold that thought for just a second. We'll definitely come back to it.
Okay.
And Elizabeth Raymond with Noble Burger. You want to do the same? Introduce yourself and Noble.
Hi, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Raymond. I am one of the co-founders of No Bull Burger, along with my mom, Chrisanne Raymond, and my sister, Heather. And we do a line of real plant-based veggie burgers. So we do an organic lentil and brown rice-based veggie burger with 100% real food ingredients. We started this, my mom had created the recipe many, many years ago and just had enjoyed it as a family. And as more and more veggie burgers started coming on the market, they either tasted like the cardboard box that they came in, or they had a long list of unidentifiable ingredients. So, and they just didn't compare to the flavor and the quality of the veggie burgers that we were eating at home with mom. So with a little bit of pushing from my sisters and I, we set up shop in 2011, started at the Charlottesville City Farmers Market as well. And now we've grown to throughout the Mid-Atlantic, the Tri-States, and into the Rocky Mountain area, where we service retail like grocery stores such as Whole Foods and Wegmans and Kroger, as well as our local independents like Rebecca's Natural Foods, Integral Yoga, hi Bill, and also servicing food service as well, like institutions like University of Virginia Dining Hall, Johns Hopkins University, and restaurants locally and throughout the region as well.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Elizabeth. Since I'm on you, how did you get connected to CIC and what were you looking for and how did we help you?
Yeah. Well, so I've been involved with CIC since about 2017. A friend of mine had told me about the program. And for us, we had been in business at that point for several years. But I think that we had started seeing the growth and the demand for our product and the direction that our brand was taking beyond just local, and was really looking just kind of for that structure and just kind of laying down a little foundation for us as we kind of entered into this new chapter for our business. So I participated in the workshop in 2017, made such valuable connections and networks with people, and just solidified a lot for our business, and just had a really, really positive experience. So that turned into, I participated in, and still am part of, a circle group that we've been meeting since 2017, with a small group of entrepreneurs that we meet monthly, that I've gotten just so much out of, is just support. And while we're all in different industries and different networks and different levels of stages of our business, it's just a really great sounding board of, you know, entrepreneurs that understand the grit and the hustle and all the ups and downs. And so it's been a really great support. And lastly, Shannon has finally gotten me to agree to brave up to do a work group leader. So I am doing that this year, which happened to be in the middle of COVID as well. So now we're adapting to the online portal, as Stephen was saying, and that has been so inspiring for me, you know, as we're all experiencing these crazy times and pivoting for our businesses, to see these entrepreneurs that have, you know, very young businesses or businesses in idea phases, and they're still showing up, they're still pivoting, they're still trying to figure out how they're going to do this. And that's been a really rewarding process as well.
Awesome. And thank you for all the time in doing that amongst all of this. So Kelly, I think you had started to say a little bit about how the COVID was impacting your business, and you're obviously not operating in the shop at the moment. What's that been like, and kind of where have you, beyond CIC or beyond, where have you sought help, and how have you been rethinking about your business?
Yes, it's been very challenging, being that with hair salons and all barbershops, like we had to close like immediately when they set the date for us to close. So it was like with clients, I don't have as many as I used to, because of course they could come in. I still do some work online where I can still complete some orders, but it has changed because I do have someone that works in there that does hair as well. And the products that we sell, we try to keep our customers coming in so they can get it, buy the product there and get it also done there. So with that not being able to be at the shop, it's hurting financially, because you still got to pay your rent. You still got other bills that got to be paid. So with CIC coming through and offering, like, helping us with this loan, and the process has been very helpful, because I have tried through my bank with my business account, but as you know, we're like smaller business, so it's like they take care of everybody else first before the smaller business. So it's like I still haven't heard back from my bank that I do my business through, and CIC was able to come through and actually help me with getting my loan and stuff. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Glad or you're fortunate, I think. And Kelly has a loan through she had a loan through CIC initially when she had kind of was starting and setting up her shop, but has a loan right now through the recovery fund to help, you know, in the short term with some of the rent expenses and other things along the way. Right. So, you know, looking forward to having you back in the shop, I know. So, Earl, how about you? You hit on a little bit as well. What's it been like in the midst of all this to transition and completely rethink your business model?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. I feel like the thing I've said to people a lot is that we're working twice as hard for half as much money. You know, and there's just so many challenges, even things that you might not think about for like a food business. I'm sure Elizabeth can relate to this, but it's like even getting ingredients. Maybe you get ingredients and then your driver doesn't have a mask on, or maybe you get ingredients and you have to spray them all down with Lysol, and that takes time and labor, and you know, and how do you clean certain things, and also the responsibility of not getting other people sick besides your own self, you know, like you know,
and not getting yourself sick as well. So it's a good
right. Point. It's like, that's like, you know, sadly the lowest thing on the list right now. But we've been fortunate enough to be like small enough to be very flexible. We immediately pivoted to like just doing home delivery. So we just took orders online, and we happened to be getting like our POS system set up when all this happened. So we just kind of like pushed that through really fast, got online ordering going, and we just drive ourselves. But you know, it's just like doing that. We're doing City Market again. It's all pre-order. I'm so grateful to have all these sales. I had no idea if people would even buy things that we make, because it's not bread and rice and meat and, you know, or things that people need. You know, it can be a luxury. It can be viewed as a luxury, of course. But yeah, just like being flexible, wearing more hats than I've ever worn, even as an entrepreneur. So we're doing all of what we normally do. And then also like, then I have to write a grant. Then I have to do the PPP loan, which was like so confusing and so drawn out. And so I know it's like so much back and forth with the bank just to get a tiny bit, because we have 2 employees and myself, and, you know, so we could only get a little bit of money, but every little bit helps. So I feel all over the place. And it's been okay so far, but it's been a challenge for sure.
No, I totally understand. How about you, Elizabeth? How's your business changed, or, you know, during this? You have a grocery item, so hopefully people are still buying it, but I know you did a lot of wholesale work with restaurants and stuff as well.
Yeah, I can relate to both Kelly and Earl. And I've always say, like, running a business is a roller coaster in it of itself, and then you run it through a pandemic, and it is just ups and downs. And I think for us, it was really scary in the beginning. 40% of our revenue was food service, that food service channel. And in the beginning of all of this, we just quickly started seeing that declining as restaurants stopped ordering, institutions started shutting down. And then we had a really, you know, we had, you know, majority of our business was retail, fortunately, and that worked in our advantage in that, as you saw, everyone was running to the grocery stores and panic buying everything, and freezer items specifically spiked. And so while we're very grateful, you know, our number one priority, like you all were mentioning, was obviously keeping our staff safe. And fortunately, we're still considered essential business, so we were able to operate, and then, you know, pivoting of how to do that safely and in an environment that everyone feels comfortable coming to work, and still being able to keep up with demand, and just the bouncing back and forth of all of it, from supplies, getting supplies, to the fiasco of the PPP funding and idled loan, and just educating on that and all the loopholes there, and just you know, really trying to look ahead, but not too far ahead, because you can only plan but so far, because things are changing on the daily. So it was, it's been, you know, pretty wild. I think that we're very grateful for our retail, and that we did have this focus in our retailers, like, you know, Whole Foods and Wegmans and our independents. And so just pivoted to focus on that. We did have an online shipping option, which has surged over the last couple months as people respond to this. So it's, you know, it's been a lot of ups and downs, but definitely proud to say that even in the midst of this, you know, our original 2020 plans are completely out the window, but I feel like we're still grateful that we were able to, we feel like we've come out on top, and that even though we had this huge loss, our retail was able to carry us through these next couple months. And so now we are just, you know, still producing and making sure we have, you know, enough inventory for demand, as well as being ready for when our food service channel picks back up, and just to be prepared for that.
Okay, gotcha. Well, so 2 more one hopefully quick question, and then another. If you had to, I'll start with Elizabeth, since you're just up. What was thinking back of the ways CIC has helped you over the years, what's been the most impactful for you?
I think for me, it's been the networking, the relationships that I've built, and the support that I get through them. I think, you meet so many different business owners through the program, and, you never know how that connection can get you somewhere. And always knowing that you have support from other people who have been down in the trenches with you or been there before is extremely valuable to me. And, when it comes to things like, possibly needing a loan, or, hey, I need a website guy, or I need something, I always check with my CIC connections first, because it's just a platform of relationships of, people throughout the county that are willing to help you and wanting to see your business succeed.
Awesome. Thanks. How about Kelly? How about for you? What's been the most impactful way, or the thing that's been most helpful to you?
I have to agree with Elizabeth with the support. Definitely. I know I can call Waverly anytime and or send her an email. She gets right back to me, and I'm always coming with ideas hey, I want to add this and da-da-da. And she's always there to give me the support, or even with marketing, Elizabeth was saying, if you need anything, CIC they're there to support you with pretty much anything you go to them with, and they believe in your vision, and they see you putting your work in, so they are there to help give back as well. So I'm just thankful all around. I just think it's a great team together. I work a lot one-on-one with Waverly, so it's just she knows. I'll text her or send her email hey, I'm thinking about adding this, and she's always there to give me advice of how to make it better, or what can I do to make it work. So it's just the support is awesome.
Thank you. I know Waverly's smiling. And how about you, Earl? What's been the most impactful thing for CIC?
Yeah, the same as what Kelly and Elizabeth said. I think the support has been phenomenal. If I have questions, that's so great. I've been connected with people who are experts in their field, legal matters, or even people just helping out with financial things. And the workshop was so great in that way, and that it filled in the gaps of my education of what I did not know business. And that just continues, and I love that. And then for me also, just being able to take out that micro loan, which was not so micro for us. But, that was wonderful. It's a reasonable loan that, and working with people I feel so comfortable borrowing money from people I know, and who will work with you and are invested in you. And that's just been great, and I love that.
Thank you. So Earl, I'll finish last round with you. Where do you want the business to be? Let's assume the pandemic, over the course of this year, we dig ourselves out. Where do you want the business to be in another year or so?
Yeah, that's a great question. I did an interview for Siva Weekly this past week, which was great, about the shop. And she asked me that question as well. And I was like, oh, I haven't even thought of that. And I think for myself and a lot of people I know, we're just so in survival mode, and we've had this shift from survival mode and kind of thrown our plans out the window, that it's kind of a hard question to answer. My answer would be oh, I'd love some normalcy. I'd love for people to be happy and healthy. But for us, I would like to be able to survive this, and that's our short-term goal. I want to make it through this. I want my employees to be safe and mentally healthy as well as physically healthy. And I want to be able to provide something to the community. We get a lot of messages that are because I was should we just shut down? But people were I look forward to getting this every weekend. It's a sense of normalcy. it's something I have to look forward to in this hard time. And so I feel good about what we do. And I would just like to continue that in a sustainable way for as long as possible until we get to some sort of normal time.
Yeah, no, that's well said. Well said. Elizabeth, how about you? What's your kind of, obviously, I think Earl said it well, surviving is a goal in itself. But what do y'all want to be in another year or two?
Yeah, I'm actually really optimistic. I think that, how we survive through this, really is a test to our company and the brand. And I think we had, had big hopes for 2020 and had actually just started our seed round this year. And so we intend to pick that right back up, when everyone starts kind of coming out of hiding. And, I look at it as it's going to be just full steam ahead and still, getting that awareness out there to people about our brand and the benefits of eating this and everything. And so I think we're just, still on track to trying to really grow and get the product out there to more people. So we're actively trying to raise capital and make some investments in our automation and our process, as well as our team, to really expand and meet that demand.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. And Kelly, how about you? There was a question you can hit on a little bit there. I know you're allowed to open up right now, but you're holding off for the moment, right?
Yes, I'm only holding off for the moment because I'm just making sure I had all the proper stuff that we need in there for the salon, as far as people, because with salon there's a lot in and out, so we got to make sure we stock with stuff to sanitize and just to have it running. And also looking to grow more this year. I'm adding on to the business because I sell hair and hair products, but also before the pandemic happened, I just finished my classes for the lash to add individual lashes. So that is something I'm adding on to the business as well. So I'm looking for growth this year, to grow more and give more to my clients.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And I know your clients probably miss you right now.
Yeah.
So great. Well, thank you to all three of you for being here. Our team had shared your websites in the chat box. So if folks are looking for that or how to find you, that's there. You're welcome. If you have anything else you want to share in the chat box, other places to put them there. But we appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. And so just to wrap up a little bit for CIC, sorry, make sure I use my computer right here. And then we jumped ahead here. What's next for us in the coming years, this year and going forward, as all three were referencing on the panel, we want to make sure that all of our entrepreneurs are able to stabilize with their business and think about starting to grow again. It's going to take some time to get back to where they were, but there's a lot of work that needs to go in there, and we're kind of thinking about how we can help them and how, and like so much of CIC, how they help each other through times like this. We're part of that will be including integrating the Central Virginia SBDC to make CIC a one-stop destination for local business owners. How can they get any of the services that you might need, whether it's one-on-one, a 16-week workshop, loans, or so forth. And then the last thing that we're going to have to do, because we've made a lot of loans, is recapitalize our loan fund. We've made a lot of loans, and it's going right now, I didn't say this earlier, but all of our existing loans, we've given flexibility through September that they don't have any payments that they need to make. A grant from the Community Foundation helped part of that, as well as just wanting to make sure that they could plan for all the other expenses they might not have flexibility on. So payments will start again in September. All of the recovery loans have a 6-month grace period, so none of those loans will start till December or January. So in the meantime, we won't have any new capital coming back from existing loans, and we're going to have to work to recapitalize our fund, because we know there are going to be businesses growing again, and we want to make sure that if they have trouble accessing credit through traditional sources, banks, and so forth, that CIC is there for them. So those are a few of the things we're thinking about. We're grateful that all of you are here today. The ways you can help are the ways you've always helped. Nearly everyone on the call here has helped us in the past. You know, whether you're volunteered with us or patronizing CIC businesses or contributing, those are the places that, you know, we will continue to need your help through this year. CIC, we don't know what the second half of the year is going to look like. You know, nearly 90% of our support is through philanthropy. I can't talk right now. Philanthropy, corporate support, local and state government, or individuals. And that, you know, the second half of the year is uncertain. We hope that all of you will continue to support us, and we hope that you'll help us to continue to find others who would love what we do, to kind of build that support. So I'm happy if there's any kind of quick questions in the chat box or if you have them to take a few of them. It's 12:45. We said the event was 12 to 12:45. So I'll thank you all for being here. But if there are folks who have a few questions, I'm able to hang out for a few minutes and take some of them. But we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to kind of get this update, to hear from Earl and Kelly and Elizabeth, and for all of the support that you provided to CIC.